Hello and welcome back to Tetris Football, and we are about to simulate every single Qatar 2022 World Cup game. And with that World Cup logo, for me, I don't think it's one of the best. Brazil 2014 is probably the best. And although this logo, it does represent Qatar's culture, I'm not sure how much it represents the World Cup. So unfortunately, I don't think it's that great. But first game is for host Qatar. Obviously, the hosts always play first against Ecuador, and let's see who gets the result. I think Ecuador are decent, but not managing to win the game. Only a 2-2 draw against Qatar, not the best for them, both on 1 point in the first game of the group. Next match is England versus Iran. England fans will be hoping to win this and probably every game in the group, but they are only able to get a 1-1 draw to Remy and Foden, both scoring. I think that's probably an unfortunate result for England and a good result for Iran to start the group. Next game will be Senegal versus the Netherlands, the two teams for me competing for top of that group. And Netherlands managed to grind out a 3-2 win and put themselves in pole position. Next game is America versus Wales. I do think Wales will just about be able to beat America, but we'll have to see. That is not the case with America getting a 2-0 win. Pulisic and Serginho Dest scoring, with them now, after one game, topping that group. The next game is Messi's first game of the World Cup, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. You'd expect Argentina to win this, and they do get the job done with a 4-0 win. Dybala got himself a hat-trick after Messi got injured in the 8th minute. That will not be... Argentina fans will not be happy with that if that happens, but Dybala did get himself a hat-trick. Lo Celso also on the score sheet, and Saudi Arabia look down and out after just one game. Next game is the reigning champions, France, who people think will suffer the World Cup curse. However, they do have Australia, and for me, quite an easy group, so they should be able to win this, and yeah, they get the job done with a 3-0 win, putting themselves top of the group, and Australia in a very bad position. But the next game, one of the closest at the World Cup for me, Mexico versus Poland, two very balanced teams. I do think Poland will just edge it with Lewandowski, but we'll have to see, and they do get a 3-1 win over the Mexicans in this round, putting both them and Argentina in a good position for this tournament. Next game, Denmark versus Tunisia. Denmark, for me, definitely big dark horses. They've been brilliant ever since the Euros, and they get the job done against Tunisia. Their main man, Eriksen, bagging a goal, putting themselves in a good position alongside France. Next game, Belgium versus Canada. Canada's first World Cup in absolutely ages. Can they cause an upset here, really? They cannot, although they do get themselves a goal. Although Eden Hazard scoring is honestly a rare occurrence, so Belgium fans, you should probably take that. Next game is going to be Spain versus Costa Rica. Costa Rica, they like an upset, but I don't think we'll see one here. Although, actually, we have 1-1 draw between Spain and Costa Rica. If that happens, Costa Rica fans should be very, very happy. That leaves that group pretty much tied up. Germany versus Japan, the second game of the group. You'd expect Germany to win this, although I think Japan will go through instead of Spain. And Germany do get the job done with a 2-1 win. Thomas Müller yet again performing at a World Cup for them. And Germany are top of their group. The next game is going to be Morocco versus Croatia. And can the Moroccans cause an upset themselves, really? They're not expected to do much, though Croatia aren't in the best form. And a 1-1 draw, you could argue, is just about right for them. Now, Morocco, Croatia, 1 point each. Belgium, 3 points. Canada, not looking good after the first game. Next up is Brazil versus Serbia. Serbia, I think, do have a shout for dark horses, although I don't personally think they'll do that well. Brazil should win this game, but they don't. A 2-2 draw. Vinny Jr. and Neymar scoring, but Kostic and Vlahovic striking first for the Serbians. So Serbia, that is a very good result for them. You'd expect them to go through after drawing with Brazil, really. You expect everyone to lose to them. Next up is Portugal. Loads of controversy with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes at the moment, although they should be good enough to get the job done against Ghana. And they are. Diego Jota scores twice, although that's not realistic, so he wouldn't be going to the World Cup because he's injured, of course. Next game is going to be Uruguay versus Korea Republic. Uruguay, another team that's in a shout for dark horse, and they do get the job done with Bentancur scoring twice against the Koreans. And that puts them and Portugal in a very good position in that group. The next game is going to be Switzerland versus Cameroon. Switzerland, I think, might edge Serbia out of that group, although Serbia did get a very good first result. But Switzerland, also a very good first result against the tough-to-beat Cameroon, getting a 2-1 win. And they can't ask for much more really. Brazil, probably not the result they were hoping for. The next up, back to England's group, Iran versus Wales. I think Iran might just win this game. No one wins the game. It's a 1-1 draw. Bale does turn up for Wales at the World Cup, and England currently not top of the group, which I think England fans will be expecting to be top of the group the whole time. Next game is the hosts again, and against Senegal. Senegal should win this, and they do. 3-0 win, absolutely wipe the floor with Qatar. And to me, I'm surprised we even got a point. I don't think FIFA rates Ecuador that much. We've got to replace a player here. We'll do it automatically. Should be a win for the Netherlands? No. So after me saying that Ecuador aren't rated by FIFA, they do get a 1-1 draw against a good team in Netherlands. So Ecuador have a chance to qualify. So do Qatar in theory, but they won't go through. And next up is England versus America. Sorry. But if England lose this game, then Southgate out will literally be the only thing at the World Cup you'll remember from England. But in this tournament, we do get a nice 4-1 win. Stones somehow scoring twice, the same number of goals as Kane in that game. Not happy with not keeping the clean sheet though. I think we should be keeping the clean sheet against a team like America. Next up, arguably two of the worst teams in the tournament, Australia versus Tunisia. I'm probably expecting a draw here. Ooh, 2-0 win for Australia. I think the Socceroos would be very happy with that, although they do like to play a decent game at the tournament, so I guess that was expected. Poland versus Saudi Arabia. You are expecting the Poles to win, and they do. They get a 2-1 win. That's just all they can ask for, really. Denmark versus France. Dark horses versus potential flops. Let's see what happens here. Get a 2-2 draw, so a very tight game between the two, and they're both probably in top position to go through the group. Got to replace a player here for Argentina versus Mexico. Messi still not back. Argentinians would be worried about that, but Dybala keeps on scoring and gets himself another goal. Probably top scorer so far. I'll check the top scorer after the group, but for this game, Costa Rica versus Japan, two of the underdogs of the tournament. 1-1 draw, probably fair. I don't think there's too much difference between those teams. Morocco versus Belgium. You'd expect Belgium to win, but can they get the job done? They cannot. Morocco holding them to a 1-1 draw, that actually puts them in a pretty good position. Canada versus Croatia then, you'd expect Croatia to win, but always expect the unexpected, and a very good game there. 3-2 Croatia win. Canada, they fought for it, but they're going to go out now. Germany versus Spain, one of the biggest group stage games. 1-0 Germany win, Kai Havertz scoring. And, I mean, yeah, I think Germany are just better than Spain. Serbia then in their second game, drew against Brazil. Can they continue that good form against Cameroon? I wouldn't call it good form drawing to Cameroon. They did get a 3-3 draw. That would be one of the games of the World Cup, but they're in a better position than Brazil to qualify at the moment. Ghana versus Korea. Let's see what happens here. We got 2-1 Korea in. Son scored, and I don't actually know who the other player was. Ghana, people might think they'll do alright, but for me, I don't think they're going to get anywhere in the tournament. Brazil, if they don't win this, they're in trouble. And they do get a nice 3-1 win against the Swiss. And let's see what the next game is. Uruguay versus Portugal, the two favourites to go through that group. Who is going to get the win that probably tops it? And it's going to be Uruguay. My issue is Jose Mario Jimenez is probably going to be injured, so that might not be realistic, but they are now top of that group. Next game, Ecuador versus Senegal. Got to auto-replace a player again. And you'd expect Senegal to win this and put themselves through. Yeah, 3-1 Senegal. They are now confirmed through that group with Ecuador out and Qatar also... Well, not out because it depends on goal difference, so we'll have to see what happens there. Got to replace a player for the Dutch here because Ake got a red card. Can Qatar cause an upset? No. 3-0 win, routine for the Netherlands, and a great game for them, really. England versus Wales now. You would hope England win this against British rivals, and we do. A 2-1 win. Foden and Walker getting the goals, and we should top the group on 7 points. Iran and America still to play. See what happens in the group, and it is a 2-2 draw. That is quite interesting, but it means that England and America go through to the knockout round. Next game is France versus Tunisia. And France managed to get a nice 2-1 win, sorry. Probably more difficult than they would have liked. Australia versus Denmark then. I think Denmark should win. Denmark should win and see themselves through the group. Australia could cause an upset though. They do a 1-0 win. So that group actually has France on 7 points, Australia on 6, and Denmark go through on just 4 points. That is shocking. I thought Denmark would do really well. Poland versus Argentina then. Poland topping the group currently, but Messi is back for Argentina. Yeah, 4-1 win. Absolutely destroyed them. Martinez somehow scored. Di Maria got 2 and De Paul even scored. Messi not having the best tournament so far, though he was injured, so he will allow it. Saudi Arabia versus Mexico then. Mexico not performing, but Saudi Arabia even have a red card. You'd expect them to win this. It is a 3-2 win. It's a close win, but they did get the job done. However, they did not do enough to qualify, although Saudi Arabia really not good enough at all. Next game is going to be Canada versus Morocco, and Canada have an injury, sorry. You'd expect Morocco to get the points here, and Canada actually get the point. Jonathan David on fire. Hakimi scored from, I think, his usual left-back position for Morocco, and honestly, Canada, fair play. I wasn't expecting that at all. However, with that result, it confirms that both Belgium and Croatia are going through without playing each other. So this game now is just to see who tops that group. Croatia are able to top the group with a 2-1 win over the Belgium. And I do think Belgium will top that group, but apparently FIFA thinks otherwise. Costa Rica versus Germany. Can Costa Rica cause another decent result and get an upset? Unfortunately for them, they cannot, and Germany clean up with a 2-0 win. And Costa Rica, if the other two teams draw, their goal difference probably won't put them through. Costa Rica are probably out, but Germany are confirmed through. Japan versus Spain. Yep, the next game. This confirms who's going through in second place. It is going to be the Spanish. Japan just completely got destroyed that game, really. If you look at the table now, Spain only just squeaking through, really, but Germany kind of just making light work of that group. Korea versus Portugal. Could we see an upset from Korea here? Heung-min Son could be a key part of it, and he was him and Wang getting a goal, and overall that wasn't enough though. Ronaldo getting 2, so a good tournament for him so far, and now I believe Korea are out, Ghana are also out, and Uruguay and Portugal are both going through. Then the last game of that group, Uruguay versus Ghana. Can Uruguay confirm their place at top spot? No, they can't. With a 2-1 win for Ghana, if they'd shown that form a little earlier on, they might have stood a chance. Next game, though, I believe... Okay, no, we're not on the knockouts yet. Cameroon versus Brazil. You'd expect Brazil to mop up here, but no, another draw in the group. That means they're on 5 points in total. And they are through. However, it is tight. And now, another one of the tightest games of the tournament. Switzerland versus Serbia. This confirms who goes through in second place. And for me, I think it will be Switzerland, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. 1-1 draw. What does that mean for the group? It means Switzerland just about edge out Serbia, just as I predicted. So I'm happy with that. Several teams have been knocked out of the tournament. Okay, so it's now Netherlands versus the Americans in the round 16. You'd expect the Netherlands to sort of clean up with the American. Ooh, America. That shocked me. That shocked me. Netherlands should have been winning that, but United States decided to turn up and they got through the first round. Look at that, through to the next one against either Argentina or Australia. Next game is Argentina versus Australia, and if Argentina lose this, then that is just so sad for Messi. That is so sad. Don't want to see that happen, and they do manage to get through with a 2-1 win. Australia, though, really making a name for themselves there and putting up a fight. So we got USA versus Argentina in the first round of, well, first quarter-final, sorry. Next game is going to be France versus Poland. Could Poland cause an upset is the question here. They might be able to. They do. A 3-1 win. What a result. And Lewandowski scores the first goal. Then they get a second. Coman managed to equalise, but in the end it wasn't enough, with Kaminski putting the finishing touch on a 3-1 victory. So then Poland are due to play either England or Senegal. And it is England versus Senegal next. We're going to see what happens here. It is a 2-1 England win, scraping through. Bellingham and Kane score. Kane getting himself on track for the top scorer, and England versus Poland is the next quarter-final. Next game is going to be Germany versus Belgium. For me, this is a really tight game. Same colours on their flags, but who will win this game? Belgium, Lukaku gets 2 goals, back in form, unlike at Chelsea, and Belgium are through to the quarter-final. And they will play either Brazil or Uruguay. And this is a game that decides it. Will Brazil have the tournament everyone thinks they're going to have, or will Uruguay cause an upset? Uruguay do cause an upset. Federico Valverde scores in a 1-0 win. Honestly, just looks like a complete shithouse performance from Uruguay, but they will take that. They are through and could be dark horses at this point with the other teams that have been knocked out. However, the next round of 16 tie is Croatia versus Spain. We saw this in the knockouts at the Euros with Spain beating Croatia. Can the Croats get revenge? And the answer is no, they definitely cannot. Ferran Torres getting a hat-trick with Morata also scoring to cap a 4-0 win over the Spanish. For me, that is ridiculous. Like, that shouldn't be happening in the knockouts. The next game is going to be Portugal versus Switzerland, and Portugal did like to think they get the job done, although Switzerland do like an upset. Think about France at the Euros. But no, Portugal are able to get the job done, and Switzerland are out with Ronaldo going through. So, next round, quarter-finals. More teams have been knocked out. We've got England versus Poland, the first quarter-final. You would hope that England win this. It's just a matter of can we keep Lewandowski quiet. And the answer to that question is yes, we can, with a 2-1 win. Somehow Alexander-Arnold scored after getting subbed on from Maguire at centre-back. Don't know what that's about, that card's confused me, but Foden manages to score, and we do go through 2-1. The next game is going to be Spain. Well, I'm in control of USA next. America versus Argentina. If America go through and end the Argentine dream, Argentina have had an easy path so far. If they lose to either of these, they're gonna be embarrassed, and they have lost. Argentina, Lionel Messi has been knocked out by America in just the quarter-finals of the competition. I still personally think they'll win it in real life, but FIFA does not even think they'll be able to beat USA. The next game is going to be quarter-final Spain versus Portugal. Geographically, literally right next to each other. Alba has been red-carded. Maybe they'll be able to exploit that. Let's see who goes through to the next round. Spain squeak through after barely squeaking through their group. They managed to get a 2-1 win over Portugal. Next game is going to be Belgium versus Uruguay in their quarter-final. Belgium or Uruguay, who goes through? Uruguay dark horses, but Belgium end that run with a convincing 3-1 win. And that means the semi-finals are America versus Belgium and England versus Spain. Are we going to somehow get an America versus England World Cup final? That doesn't make sense to me. Weah is injured for the United States. You'd expect Belgium to win, but you expected the other teams to knock out America. But America's dream run is finally over with an emphatic 4-0 win by Belgium. And at the moment, I'm scared for England to be playing them in the final if we can beat Spain. But that is, of course, the next game. Second semi-final. Spain versus England. Who gets the win? Who goes to the World Cup final? England go through on penalties. I don't understand how. We suck at penalties. I mean, Spain missed 3 in a row, which is ridiculous. But we are through to the World Cup final, and it's us against Belgium. The next match is going to be, I believe they do the world third place playoff first, and if America somehow get third place in this tournament, I'm going to be shocked. No, they do not. They lose 5-1. Spain still third place. Morata gets a hat-trick. Bit late for that now. And Belgium versus England in the World Cup final. Can England bring it home, or will Belgium destroy us again? Let's see what happens. We lose on penalties. A 1-1 draw in normal time. Kane scores after Vanaken scores. He's had a great tournament. And Belgium are the winners of the Qatar 2022 World Cup. That is shocking. So we'll look at the stats quickly. Standings, player stats. Ferran Torres got the most goals. Lukaku second. Morata third. Kane put himself up there, but overall not too many. Spain somehow scored loads. Busquets got the most assists. Clean sheets was for Neuer. Yellow cards for Alba and red cards for those 4. So yeah, Belgium win the World Cup. Do you think that could happen in real life? Let me know. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.